1-800-521-1980. Here goes.
Till I ran into Ben Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, I had myself a pretty good little operation. They wanted to ride to Alderaan, and they're willing to pay enough so I didn't have to ask any questions.
Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, and I'm coming back at you with a whole new video. What are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about how Star Wars, or Lucasfilm, I guess, promoted The Empire Strikes Back with letting you, the fans, call a 1-800 number and get the latest news on The Empire Strikes Back release. Now, this was before the internet, as you probably know, and they were really hard to get news out. I mean, you get news every once in a while on something like Starlog magazine or maybe some kind of other trade magazine, but you didn't have a website. You did have the fan club letter, but other than that, getting Star Wars news out there was really hard to do. So what did Lucasfilm do to help promote The Empire Strikes Back? Well, Craig Miller, who was the first director of fan relations for Lucasfilm, came up with a brilliant idea. Have fans call a 1-800 number, which was also the release date of the film, to hear Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and even Darth Vader tell you about the upcoming movie, The Empire Strikes Back. What was great about these, it was a 1-800 number. So you didn't have to spend 35 cents a minute or whatever, like a lot of hotlines at this time. And what was the number to call? Well, it was the release date, 1-800-521-1980. So it kind of stuck in your mind, that's the day the film comes out. Genius, right? But how do they come up with that number? Well, they had to go to Illinois to get that area code 521. That's right, they set up a little shop there just to get that area code so us fans could call 1-800-521-1980. Now, I called that number last night and it seems to be disconnected. Sorry, there's no Empire Strikes Back on that phone number anymore. Now, they didn't do a heavy push for this number. It was in Starlog magazine, and they talked about it in Bandit Tracks, the fan club newsletter, and a few other places picked it up here and there. But there were so much people calling this number that it crashed the system and upset AT&T. There were so many people calling this number, when they crashed it, they wouldn't even get the sound of it being busy. You remember that busy sound? I don't know if kids know that sound today, but it sounded something like this. Remember that? Anyway, the system crashed so hard, you couldn't even hear that. You just got nothing when you called the number. And AT&T insisted that Lucasfilm put out a press release letting the public know it wasn't AT&T's fault, and that Lucasfilm would be adding more phone numbers for people to call. Well, Lucasfilm didn't want to really add more numbers, being that the number they picked was the release date of the film. You can understand that. Now, Lucasfilm did release a press release saying they're sorry that so many fans wanted to know so much about the upcoming sequel to Star Wars that they crashed the AT&T system. In a way, it was apologizing, but not really the apology that AT&T was hoping for. But they did give in and increase the number of phone lines, so there was a few other numbers you could call besides that release date 1-800 number. But thanks to the crashing of that number and the press release, it made more people call this number. It made this phone number thing more popular, so it was a win-win for Lucasfilm. And how did Craig Miller get the stars of Star Wars to record these voice messages? Well, luckily, after he wrote the script, most of the actors were at Lucasfilm doing loop sessions, so he could use them there to record this 3 to 5 minute phone message. But there was one holdout, Harrison Ford. By the time Craig wrote the script for Harrison Ford to read, Harrison Ford was done with his part in The Empire Strikes Back, and he wasn't there during the time the others recorded the phone message. But Harrison Ford's a nice guy, right? He went over to Craig Miller's house and recorded it there at his home, which is amazing. I'm sure if I called Harrison Ford, he wouldn't come over to my house to record some phone messages for me, but I'm no Craig Miller. Now, these were kind of lost for years, but maybe about 5 years ago, the Star Wars official website put them up online. Sadly, I can't find that link to their official website anymore, but it is the internet. Nothing's lost forever. I found a few copies of it on YouTube and some other websites. So we're going to take a listen to some of them now, and I'm going to do a second video where I'm going to put them all in one video in case you guys just want to hear it in one place. And also I found on YouTube, which was kind of amazing, was outtakes. I found Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and even James Earl Jones doing these phone messages, outtakes, and they're pretty fun to listen to. But let's listen to some now. I got my phone right here, and although you can't call the number anymore, I'm going to pretend like you can. So let's pull up the phone here and call 1-800-521-1980. put it on speaker so we can listen. Who we're going to listen to first? Let's listen to Luke Skywalker.
Tatooine was just a big ball of dust until R2 and 3PO showed up. But since then, my life hasn't been the same. From a moisture farmer on a remote desert planet to a leader of the rebellion fighting for freedom throughout the galaxy. But now the rebellion faces even greater odds, and I must be ready. I must follow Ben Kenobi's teachings, learn more about the powers of the Force and becoming a Jedi Knight, if I'm going to be prepared for a confrontation with Darth Vader. See it. When the Empire Strikes Back.
Makes me as giddy as a schoolboy listening to that. It takes me back to 1979 when I was hyped up for The Empire Strikes Back. That is great. Now, let's call Carrie Fisher. Sure, this is going to be great. I mean, it's Carrie Fisher. Let's take a listen to see what she had to say about the upcoming Empire Strikes Back.
The destruction of the Death Star was a major victory for the rebellion. But our battle isn't over yet.
It's really Carrie Fisher. They didn't even get a voice actor. It's really her.
Darth Vader and the evil forces of the Emperor keep a stranglehold over the galaxy. But the Rebel Alliance must and will succeed in forever ridding the galaxy of their scourge. Even now, in our secret underground base on the ice planet Hoth, new strategies are being planned.
Can't wait for The Empire Strikes Back. And like I said, there were even outtakes I found online. One of the best ones is from Carrie Fisher. I mean, Carrie Fisher is so great, you'd be happy just calling the number and listening to Carrie Fisher talk. But let's take a listen to one of her outtakes. I'm not going to act like I'm calling it, but of course you couldn't call and listen to outtakes on the phone, but let's try.
Darth Vader and the evil forces of the Emperor still keep a strong... Sorry. Take two. This is going to be fun.
Take two.
Look what you give me to say. It's always like this. Me and Tony Daniels. Okay.
Oh, I miss you, Carrie. That's some funny stuff right there. And, of course, like I said, Harrison Ford did one of these at Craig Miller's house. So, let's listen to it. 1-800-521-1980. Here goes.
Till I ran into Ben Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, I had myself a pretty good little operation. They wanted to ride to Alderaan, and they're willing to pay enough so I didn't have to ask any questions.
This is great. This is like when you really call
I'm
someone.
spending half my time dodging Imperial ships and the other half avoiding Her Holiness. Not only that, but Jabba the Hutt's got a price on my head and he's put Boba Fett on my trail. Something tells me it's not going to get any better when the Empire Strikes Back.
Man, that is great. I mean, as a kid, it felt like you was really calling these people. It felt like you was really calling Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, C-3PO, and even Darth Vader. That's right. Darth Vader's on here. Let's see. 1-800-521-1980. The Dark Lord of the Sith. Here he is. He's breathing. Just like in the movie.
They managed to rescue the princess and to destroy the Death Star. But this time, the rebels won't be so lucky. The power of the Death Star was insignificant compared to the power of the Force. And with Obi-Wan Kenobi gone, I am the Master.
Hang him up. That's kind of scary. Oh, I hope Darth Vader got his comeuppings in The Empire Strikes Back. That's what I would say if I was a kid. Anyway, you probably didn't get to hear these good right here, so I'm going to do a second video and upload these and those outtakes. But what about you? Do you remember this 1-800 number that you could call and listen to your favorite Star Wars characters tell you about The Empire Strikes Back? This phone number went into effect about 5 months before the release of the film. It was an exciting time, man, and it was great. There was a 1-800 number where you didn't have to pay, unlike what He-Man did. Remember when He-Man made you call and give him money so he could tell you a He-Man story? I remember that. Just like it was yesterday.
I am He-Man. Call She-Ra and me at 1-900-909-2233.
We'll journey to distant worlds, explore the universe.
And probably battle Skeletor along the way, huh?
Probably, Orko. There's a new adventure every day. We'll also tell you how to get an action figure or this colorful poster.
Part of your $2.35 2-minute call will go to local science museums.
Get your parents' permission and call 1-900-909-2233.
I have the power!
Man, He-Man. Mom still brings up the time I racked up all that money on her credit card. Thanks a lot, Prince Adam. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Did you call this number when you were a kid? Or if you wasn't a kid back then or you didn't know about it, would you have called it? I mean, I could see kids calling this number every day, all day long. It was great. Of course, we had no internet back then. We really didn't have much to feed our Star Wars hunger, except for things like this. This whole Star Wars phone message promotion thing is kind of lost in the history of promoting Star Wars. You really don't hear about it much. So I wanted to do this video to keep it out there. Because there's a magical time back when Star Wars was still kind of new, before the internet, when you had to come up with all kinds of crazy new ways to promote your film. Anyway, thank you for watching. Again, let me know in the comments below what you think about this and if you caught it and how many times a day you caught it. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please subscribe to the channel. Hell, you can subscribe if you don't like my content. I don't care. And hit thumbs up so I know you like it. And it lets YouTube know you like it and puts it out there for more people to see. So it really helps when you hit thumbs up. You can hit thumbs down if you want to. It really doesn't affect anything. But you can do it if it makes you feel more powerful. You like my new mug? Love honey carbonate. I love honey carbonate. I'm not sure why. I'm always a big fan of honey carbonate. Picked this up at Kroger. So if anyone's at Kroger, I'm sure other places have it too. Anyway, I just want to talk about that. Thank you for watching. Fred, you know to take us out of here.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.